Imagine traveling at airline speeds on the ground, inside a futuristic tube, zipping from Los Angeles to San Francisco in just 30 minutes. That was the dream of the Hyperloop. But today, that dream has come to a screeching halt. So what went wrong and what lessons can we learn? The Hyperloop was first introduced in 2013 by Elon Musk, who envisioned a high-speed transportation system using near-vacuum tubes to eliminate air resistance, allowing pods to travel at speeds over 700 miles per hour. The idea promised an energy-efficient, ultra-fast, and cost-effective alternative to trains and planes. It captured the imagination of investors, engineers, and governments worldwide. But as we have seen time and again, technological hype doesn't always translate into reality. The biggest challenge? Physics. Maintaining a near vacuum environment over hundreds of miles is not just difficult, it is incredibly expensive. Even small leaks in the system could make the entire project infeasible. Then there is the issue of passenger comfort. High-speed acceleration in a tight tube could create extreme G-forces, making the ride uncomfortable and even unsafe for travelers. Not to mention, the need for perfectly straight tracks meant integrating Hyperloop into existing landscapes was nearly impossible without massive infrastructure costs. And then there is the problem of safety. What happens if a pod malfunctions mid-transit? Emergency exits are virtually non-existent in a sealed tube, making evacuation a nightmare scenario. A minor accident at such high speeds could be catastrophic. Safety concerns alone were enough to make regulators hesitant to approve widespread development. Despite the hype, the numbers never quite added up. Early estimates claimed that Hyperloop would be significantly cheaper than high-speed rail. But real-world feasibility studies painted a different picture. Land acquisition, tube maintenance, and the immense cost of building dedicated tracks turned the Hyperloop into a financial nightmare. Even Musk himself seemed to distance from the project, leaving private companies like Virgin Hyperloop and Hyperloop One to carry the torch. To put things in perspective, California's high-speed rail project has already seen costs balloon past $100 billion. A full-scale Hyperloop would require even more investment, and without clear revenue models, banks and governments weren't willing to take the risk. Several companies tried to make the dream a reality. Virgin Hyperloop ran successful small-scale tests, but eventually scrapped passenger transport in favor of cargo. Other startups, once flush with investor cash, gradually ran out of money and folded. Governments that initially backed the idea eventually walked away, realizing the economic and logistical hurdles were too steep. Let's take India's Hyperloop project as an example. It was initially pitched as a way to connect Mumbai and Pune in just 25 minutes. The Indian government even labeled it a public infrastructure project. But as costs soared and technical doubts arose, the project lost momentum. Today, it's practically abandoned. The United Arab Emirates also had ambitious Hyperloop plans, aiming to connect Dubai and Abu Dhabi in 12 minutes. But years later, there is little progress, and the focus has shifted to expanding high-speed rail instead. So what can we learn from the Hyperloop's failure? Technology alone isn't enough. Just because something is theoretically possible doesn't mean it's practical. Infrastructure matters. Unlike software, Transportation systems require massive physical investments, and without a viable plan, even the best ideas can fail. Public and private sectors must align. Governments and businesses need to work together for large-scale projects to succeed. Without public backing, infrastructure dreams often remain just that, dreams. Real-world testing is everything. Paper concepts don't always translate into functional systems. Hyperloop worked in controlled environments, but real-world conditions proved far more challenging. While the Hyperloop may never become a mainstream mode of transport, its ambition pushed the limits of what is possible. High-speed maglev trains, underground tunnels, and even flying taxis may fill the gap Hyperloop aimed to bridge. One thing is certain, our pursuit of faster, more efficient transportation is far from over. And who knows, maybe in the future, with breakthroughs in materials and engineering, the Hyperloop could make a comeback in a new form. So what do you think? Was the Hyperloop doomed from the start, or could it still make a comeback? Let us know in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and check out manishgoswami.com for more deep dives into the world's most interesting and important stories shaping our world. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.